Why, yes, these are the same clothes I was wearing in Washington. I am Dan Kingerski on the Pittsburgh Hockey Now YouTube channel. The Pittsburgh Penguins beat the LA Kings and beat them like a drum, 5-1. Here at Crypto.com Arena. I'm actually in the media room. I'm the last person left in the arena, and they're out there working on the ice, and they're taking things down, so I'm staying in here tonight. I wish I could show. I really do love it out there. The Gretzky and the Dion banners and the LA Lakers stuff. It's kind of a unique arena here. Let's get to the Penguins hockey game, because they were really good from almost the puck drop. In the first several minutes, let's call it the first 7-8 minutes, they made some horrendous mistakes. Marcus Pettersson may have had one of his worst games of the season, at least one of the worst first periods of the season. He got beat a couple of times, a couple of turnovers, even a penalty. Just yikes. It was not a Marcus Pettersson sort of night. However, the rest of the team, beginning with Alex Nedeljkovic, made several big saves there in the first couple of minutes, including on a breakaway by Quinton Byfield, the 2020 second overall pick. Pretty good player. Nedeljkovic shuts him down there a couple minutes into the game, sets the tone. Nedeljkovic gets bigger throughout the game. The Penguins get more dominant. It'd be difficult to truly kind of describe what the Penguins did to keep LA off of them, because it really was almost like a chaotic scramble for the puck in the offensive zone. And what I mean is LA would get the puck, but the Penguins would pounce on them, not allow them that breakout pass, not allow them that next puck, that next play. And so LA was constantly scrambling, trying to get some speed, trying to just even get out of the defensive zone. They were never able, as a consequence, never able to put the puck deep into the Penguin zone and set up that neutral zone defensive scheme, that kind of that 1-4 that you saw in the beginning of the game. They weren't able to do that. They were always chasing the Penguins, and thus LA's defensive structure advantage was completely obliterated. Not just negated, but obliterated. The Penguins converted their chances. Kevin Hayes, driving to the net a couple of times, scores the one power play goal. Scorers, I think, incorrectly took away all of the assists. They really should have given a couple of assists there. They took one away from Tomasino that would have given him a 2-point night. Sidney Crosby, incredible deflection. Grizzly kind of chops at a bouncing puck, so it's tumbling. The puck's actually arcing down, and Crosby kind of just aids in the puck flutter and bounce, and it skips past Riddick from 15 feet away. A Sidney Crosby deflection, and nobody else can do that. Evgeny Malkin scores, and Anthony Beauvillier, if he didn't have his best game of the season, it was certainly his best game of recent memory. 1 goal, 1 assist, but to the point he was on the puck along the walls. He was on the puck, the loose pucks in the slot near the net. He was a big part of the top line dominance on Monday, because he didn't play a flashy game like Rickard Rakell would have. By the way, Rickard Rakell did return to Pittsburgh, I believe, on Sunday. Family matters, personal matters. No, there isn't a pending trade. Beauvillier filled that spot very well, as he's done numerous times this season, gets the goal. So when you look at it, they get goals from Kevin Hayes and Anthony Beauvillier down the line, but also from Crosby and from Malkin. They really did just take LA out of their game, and they kept them out of their game. That's really kind of, they took away all the fun talking points. There's no big talking points. Let's talk about the playoff situation, because obviously I wrote not 48 hours ago that loss against Washington was essentially the Penguins' death knell. It was time for Kyle Dubas to let rip. I can't back away from that. I thought about it. I wrote it. There is still a faint pulse. It's not exactly a loud, thumping heartbeat, faint pulse of the Penguins' playoff hopes. Don't forget, the other Eastern Conference teams get to keep playing hockey games and winning as well. And so the Penguins have kind of a narrow path here. Before we get into February, before we get to the Four Nations silliness, they have to run the table here on this West Coast swing. They have to negate, to flip that disastrous 5-game homestand in which they essentially went 1-4, 1-3-1 officially. If they can go in the next 4 games 3-1, 3-0-1, even better, they should put themselves kind of on the bottom tier of the periphery of that playoff spot. But they have to do that. They have to win those games. To their benefit, the next 4 games are, in fact, against very beatable teams. Seattle, which is not a good team, even though they beat the Penguins a couple of weeks ago, which essentially cost Tristan Jarry his NHL career that game. Well, obviously everything leading up to it certainly did, but that was the straw that broke the camel's back, that loss to Seattle. The Penguins get Seattle. And then obviously San Jose is a bottom feeder. Obviously Utah is just, they're outside the playoffs in the Western Conference. And I guess the team I skipped over is next, the Anaheim Ducks, perennial bottom feeder. So, 4 very winnable games. And if the Penguins want that shot, if they want to push back just a bit on Kyle Dubas and maybe force him to delay some of the actions and the trades or such that could be or are coming down the pipe, the next 4 are really their chance. If they don't, there's no reason to think they would beat better teams or, Kyle Dubas isn't going to wait this season like he did last season. I think he's made that pretty clear. The Tristan Jarry trade, or the Tristan Jarry waivers, the Lars Eller trade, he's not playing around this year. He's not giving them the benefit of the doubt. He's doing what's best for the future and doing it now. If the Penguins, if the players want to stay together, this is their shot. All right, from the Crypto Arena Media Room, I'm Dan Kingerski. Do me a favor, like, subscribe, and find my luggage. Have fun.